from the San Francisco Bay Area, almost every Tuesday night, it's ESG Live with Chuck, Paul, and Ramir. We've got your weekly ESG community content, scooter news, and more. And now, your host, Chuck Temple!
It is good to be back, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're not here every week, but we're here a lot. And this is show number 93. It's all about the brand new Emove Cruiser. We've got all kinds of good stuff. We got Melvin on the show today. And something new that we're doing is we're going to get to the deep dive within 5 minutes for you guys. So I want to welcome in Ramir. Oh, let me get your mic going.
Hey, everybody.
And Paul. What's up, Paul?
Hey.
All right.
How's it going, Chuck?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Good.
I'm doing good. I'm doing, I guess, how was your weekend? How was your weekend, guys? It's been a minute since we've seen each other.
Paul, what about you?
Get the boys some haircuts. And 7 years and 60 haircuts later, I finally figured out how to cut Sterling's hair without it standing straight up in the back.
What's the secret?
Just gotta, short in the right places, long in the right places.
Okay.
Just following the.
That's cool.
Just being at the mercy of his hair because
Nice.
it's crazy. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
I play pickleball as usual. I haven't been on the show for a while because the last show I think I was on vacation or something.
Yeah, I think
right?
so. Yeah, with the mini motors. Yeah.
Yeah. So I missed that one. So I haven't seen everybody for a while. So it's like super. It just feels good to just kind of be back. Right? I think I was gone the last one, right? Anyway, in that time, I will tell you, I got 2 medals from pickleball.
Nice.
I got myself a little, what did I get? I got silver last week in a mixed tournament. And then the week before that, I was 4 or 5 points away from getting first. And then somehow I got third. And I still haven't gotten the score
Recount.
sheet. Yeah,
we need the recount.
That's what everybody says.
Did you see the score?
She never sent it, and we asked her. My other friend that was in it asked her instead of me, so it wouldn't look like I was like fishing to see if what really happened. Anyway, we haven't gotten that score sheet, so I'm not saying anything, but I am saying something. Anyway, what about you? What you been up to?
Saturday, just chill with the family. We're getting prepared. We're having a puppy coming soon, so we're just preparing the house.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to show pictures of that puppy
next week
at some point.
when I get him in house, we're gonna.
You don't have him yet, right? You just seen the pictures.
He's not at the right age.
It's a cute. I've seen some pictures, and it's like the cutest dog like I've ever seen. It's the husky, right?
Yeah, Siberian.
It's blue eyes, right?
Yeah,
one blue?
Both blue.
Both blue.
Like Chuck.
There it is. Yeah, the husky.
Yeah. And then that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Glad to be back. Glad to, shout out to everybody that's watching. You guys, you make the show happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the chat already. Juan Vargas is glad to see Chuck is back.
Oh, Mr. Juan Vargas, hello. And I got
Nordium in there.
Nordium in there. I saw John Richardson earlier.
Got Vosk, of course.
Vosk is in here. Robert is in here.
Commenting on the purple.
Some new faces I haven't seen are also in the chat.
Mike Suarez.
Mike Suarez is in the chat. And then one person said, Metro Lima said, make a review about the Dualtron Eagle. We did already.
Yes.
Actually. If you look on our YouTube channel or just go on the website.
It's in there.
Yeah, it's on there. It's a good review. And I think we called out what's good and called out what's bad.
Something else we might mention is there's going to be, so you mentioned that Melvin from Voro is going to be on the show. There's some special stuff.
Yeah. So I've seen something in the background when we were setting up the thing earlier. So, you might want to have some questions.
The funny thing is they actually didn't even tell. Like, we have an idea what it might be, but they actually were being kind of coy and like not even telling us what was up. So
I have a feeling some shenanigans are gonna go on.
Something's gonna happen during the Melvin interview. We'll see.
Also, just housekeeping here. So Melvin will be on with us. This is the 2021 Emove Cruiser show. Okay. And then also, the Facebook giveaway will happen at the end of the show. That will be sponsored by Voro Motors, of course. And It'll be the handlebar extender, Dr. Orange tire sealant, a cell phone holder courtesy, and a cell phone holder. I thought it said cell phone. You don't get a cell phone, but you get a holder for your cell phone so that you keep your cell phone almost as good as a cell phone by not breaking your cell phone. So that giveaway is going to happen at the end of the show. If you want to be entered for the next time, you got to just be on the Facebook group. And then also there is a giveaway that we're doing with Apollo, which is actually a pretty big deal.
That surprised the heck out of me.
Yeah.
Well,
that's Voss just sets his stuff up, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so our good friends at Apollo are giving away a Phantom electric scooter. This is open to USA and Canadian residents only. Check the link in the YouTube description of this show for how to enter the giveaway. It's pretty easy. I think you fill out a survey and just like a couple pages. It's not too much. And the Phantom is like such a sick scooter. Yeah. So, it's good to check that out.
I was just out riding it yesterday.
Yeah. No, I ride it. I mean, especially when the winter comes.
Last time I needed it, I had to go to your house and get it back. Actually, I rode. Right. Anyway,
you rode to my house, and I think when I wasn't home. Yeah. And then we were actually sorry. There's 4 seconds. Sherlock, we didn't know where Sherlock was. That's about the black cat.
Oh yeah.
Sherlock came up to you because he probably thought you were me, and he does that to me. He's blind.
Yeah.
And so
we were chilling.
Anyway, all right. So it looks like it's time for the Emove Cruiser Deep Dive. We're gonna get this thing going right away, but first, a quick commercial break sponsored by Voro Motors.
A good beat. Yes. And we're back. We're all dancing during that commercial just now. If you heard anything strange, that was me commenting about the dancing.
All right. So this is the start of the deep dive. I think we have a little sizzle for you guys just to show off a little bit of the shots that we got on the cruiser. There we go. So the cruiser, so I'm just gonna kind of intro what the cruiser is because it's actually one of the most important scooters in the industry. And because of not only what it is now, but because of the history of this scooter. So the Emove Cruiser, right, I believe it was around late 2018, 2019 is when I got my first one. It looked like a lot of other scooters at the time. It wasn't the range monster that it became. I remember I posted on the Reddit that I was going on a road trip, and I got a few companies that said, "Hey, can we give you a scooter to go on the road trip?" With one of those companies was Voro Motors. They had this thing called the Emove. They only had 2 scooters, I think, at that time.
Oh wow!
They had the Cruiser and the Touring, and Melvin will be on later and may correct me here. So he gave me a white Cruiser, and we got a little
Mike Suarez.
Mike Suarez, thank you, buddy. Mike,
thank you,
25. And hey, shout out to all the first-time listeners that I'm seeing in the live chat. This is great that we're getting, and we're already over 100 people watching, which is kind of amazing.
And the way says, thanks for you all, for all you do. I bought a 2020 Emove Cruiser because of you guys.
There it is.
Thank you.
So that first cruiser went on the road trip. I had 6 scooters on that road trip. 3 of them broke during the trip. The cruiser was not one of them. It was one of the favorites. It was one of the scooters that just kind of kept going. Fast forward the next year, we got the 2020 cruiser, and that's when all the big changes happened. I think to me, that's when the cruiser became the cruiser, which is like, in the industry, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say this is one of the most popular scooters in the personal market, at least in North America, along with the Xiaomis of the world. This is one of those extremely popular scooters because the range.
Yeah, and it became like the benchmark for range.
It for sure. Yeah. And actually, in a time when everybody was lying about range, and still, everybody kind of, they fib a little bit. This was like one of the very few scooters out there that actually had the massive range that we now, that it had. And what we got on that very first cruiser, 53.3 miles, right?
Or 50.3.
50.3 miles, which at the time, and still we're going to talk about if it still holds the highest, range mark of the whole world. But 50.3 miles is like insane. On that 2020 cruiser, which we still have. It's right over there. Yeah. We still ride it. It's the orange one. We got another super chat.
Oh,
what's going on here? Tormund. I remember Tormund. Anyway, I think it's unicorn time. Roadster sneak peek is coming up. Tormund.
What?
Nostradamus.
Have you been peeking?
Okay. So anyway, I just want to say, that my intro here is getting a little long-winded, but basically, to me, the cruiser became, it got known because when people see long range, and range was a big deal and still is a big deal, but when you need that range, that's a reason why people buy it. It also became famous because when that 2020, the previous version came out, they added so many accessories. It already had one of the longest decks in the industry, may be the longest deck in the industry. But they also added the LG battery, the massive IP rating, right, for water reasons, which we tested with a hose, which other people have tested with a hose, which was controversial at first, but then became like nobody's controversial about it now. The semi-hydraulic brakes, and then they switched it to an LG battery along with that larger range. Those were, and then of course the tubeless tires. They went from regular to tubeless. All these crazy updates, and at that time, that was the first one that had really done all of that in the personal market outside of. And I think the 9-Bot Max wasn't quite out yet at that time. So anyway, amazing scooter. That's my intro to it. I think it's, it's one of the hallmark, in 10 years, 20 years, when we talk about this industry, this will be one of the scooters that holds a place. It holds a chapter.
It's going to have earned a spot as one of the all-time greats.
Yes, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that, and that's a video I want to make at some point, is like I know we're only a few years into the industry, but some of the greatest scooters of all time, this makes it into that category. Yeah. Anyway, so it's known for, record-breaking range, easy to ride, great scooter to ride in the rain. I've ridden in the rain multiple times, even the old ones.
Featured in our 5 best scooters for rain video.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so now we have the 2021 version, which of course is the one behind me, which is in purple, but you can get it in other colors too. And that's one of the features of scooters, that it is available in multiple colors. So some of the changes are, it has a 1,000-watt nominal motor instead of the 600. 1,300 still is the peak. It claims to be 20% faster, which we will figure out if that is true soon. It costs the same, $13.99, although, just spoiler, Voro Motors canceled the 7% off discount that they kind of give to influencers. However, for this week, they're bringing it back just for this week, which is, I believe it's just our website name, electric-scooter.guide, get you that, whatever, it's about $100 off that scooter. And anyway, and then the claim is that even with that larger motor in this year's model, it's still going to get the same range, which to me makes absolutely no sense.
Seems to defy physics.
I want to, and so of course we had to go out and test that scooter, and so we're gonna deep dive that all with Paul right now. So some of the questions that we have, how much faster is it with that battery? Does it still get, the same range, 50.3 miles? Is it still as easy to ride? And, if you already have one, should you upgrade? I think those are, those are some of the biggest questions that people have. We're going to cover all of those. And
we're going to cover the 6 new accessories that are available for the cruiser, and talk about whether they're compatible with older existing cruisers as well.
Absolutely. So, Paul, what do you think? What's your overall impression? What's your take on this scooter?
Yeah, so one of the great things about this scooter, aside from like the great range and just all the accessories and this and that, is that it's a scooter that is one of the subjects that we're going to hit on the review that's coming out, is that it's a one and done kind of scooter. In other words, it is a scooter that sometimes people worry, I'm going to get my first scooter 6 months from now, I'm going to be like, oh man, I need to upgrade, I need to get something else. And this is a scooter that is you're not going to have to worry about upgrading, because it does all the things and then it's also you're not worried about it being too much scooter, which is the other end of the spectrum, that you get a dual motor scooter and it's like kind of too much for a new rider. It really solves both problems. It's kind of almost upgrade proof in terms of things you need a scooter to do in day-to-day life, and then it's easy to ride.
I remember calling this thing, I don't know if it was in one of the videos, Remy, or not, but I called it the Camry, the Toyota Camry. To me, it's the Camry. It's big enough, right? It's, it's comfortable. It goes long enough. It does everything pretty darn well.
Yeah, so you're not going to need to upgrade for range, crosstown speed, deck size, braking, cornering, stability at speed.
It's only really if you want that. I mean, we're going to get to it later.
We'll get it.
Okay.
But it just really spans the gap between single motor and dual motor scooters.
Yeah.
But there are a few things that it doesn't do. It's not ultra portable. It is, it passes the trunk test. But it's, it is.
It's not one
light.
that you're going to want to pick up multiple times, multiple flights of stairs, unless you're like a big person.
Yeah, and it doesn't give you instant adrenaline rush with the throttle like the dual motor scooters do, and it's also not built for like super crazy off road. I mean, it'll do a dirt road, but it's not big rocks and big jumps and things like that. It just doesn't have like a ton of suspension travel. Suspension's awesome, but it's just not like really long and it's not really tall. So you're not going to use it for heavy duty off roading.
In the review that's coming out tomorrow or Thursday, it's basically in the premium commuter class. Like I know these names don't mean something to everybody, but for us to be able to like contextualize where a scooter fits and what its competition is, to us this is basically the highest end of a single motor scooter.
Yep.
And there's certain things you get with a single motor that you don't get with a dual motor and vice versa. Right? So you don't get the hair-raising acceleration, right? Or the crazy hill climbing ability, although this still climbs hills just fine, which we'll get into. Anyway, so the first question, right, is, with the bigger motor, right, and the claim that it's 20% faster, is it 20% faster, Paul?
Yeah, and the answer is, if you round to the nearest, 10%, it is 20% faster. But it's 16% faster is how we measured it, and we've got the
this is for top speed.
This is for top speed,
okay.
And so we've got our top speed chart on screen here, and so you can see it actually cracks the 30 mile per hour mark, which is pretty cool. The previous version went 26.2, and we got 30.5 miles per hour out of it. And then we're also comparing here other premium, single motor commuter scooters, the Apollo Explorer and the Inicum Ox, and you see they're all pretty close.
Yeah, and I think this is to me this is like a really smart upgrade because when every mile per hour faster you go, you get a lot of value out of that. And for me, until about mid 30s for me, because I like riding in the low 30s.
Yeah.
And so going from 26, I guess, right?
Yeah.
26 is the old one, to 30 is actually quite helpful to get that extra little bit.
Even if you just want to ride 25 most of the time, having that little extra headroom and not being maxed out is always it's always a good feeling to know you've got a little bit left. The other thing is when you get a scooter that's faster, the first question is like, well, it was stable at 26 miles per hour. Is it going to be stable at 30? And it is. It feels great and stable. Partly the long wheelbase really helps out. Yeah. But it feels really good.
So with the faster top speed, right, it must accelerate faster or not. So how's this going?
This was a surprising thing. And so going from 600 watts to 1,000 watts, I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a big monstrous difference. But not really. It was is actually up to 20, and we've got the acceleration charts here for 0 to 15. It actually took 3.8 seconds versus 3.4, getting up to 15 miles per hour. So up to 20, it was actually very slightly slower than the previous version. But then once we get up to 25, and here's that chart, you can see it's like almost a second and a half faster to 25. And for, that's really how you're going to use this scooter most of the time, I think, is just cruising around at 25, and it's getting you to the speed that you're going to use a second and a half faster. So it's for what I would do with it the most, it's faster.
Yeah. For someone, I think most people are riding this, my guess is 25, I mean, it's not a scooter you want to go too much over 30 on. It's not that type of scooter. It is for the cruising at at that speeds. And it's, if you ride at 15 or 18, right, then actually it's going to be slightly slower to that speed. But my guess is that most people will ride this at around the car travel speed on 25 miles an hour roads and stuff like that. So cool. Okay, so acceleration, interesting. A little bit slower at the low end, and then actually faster, like at the top end, which is I think that's interesting. Is it faster going up hills?
Most of the time. is the answer there. And this is also
Okay.
surprising thing. So it's what we found is that on our 10% hill climb test, and this is the data here, it's basically the same. It's like we got 12.2 seconds versus 12.1 for the other one. So it's in the noise. It's the same as before. But it was interesting is during the range test, we have this hill. It's like it starts out 4% and then it goes up to about 6%, which is like, kind of a steep hill. It's like, it's not like you're not huffing and puffing going up this, but it's about as steep as you're going to encounter in a normal sort of city commute. And it was going faster up that hill than any other single motor scooter that we've tested on the range test. And so most of the time, in most of the hills you encounter, it's going to be going, a bit faster. And that showed up in the average.
Do you remember just approximately what speed you were going?
I was going 24 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was cooking. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's nice.
And it was just, it was basically as fast as I wanted to go. Many times it was faster than, the cars were going, going up the hill. So
for sure.
Yeah.
So faster on 4% grades
and 6.
Yeah. And then about the same 0.1 slower on the 10%.
Yeah.
And so,
Oh, and the average speed up the 10% hill was about 11 miles per hour, which is like.
But that's from a dead stop, and that includes the zero.
Yeah, and it's still accelerating.
And it was still accelerating when you got to the top of the hill.
Yeah,
okay.
And that's the speed. 10 miles an hour. That's about that's a fast run, I think. And so that's like you're still getting up the hill pretty darn quick.
Yeah, no, that's good. So with the the faster top speed, right? And then the slightly different acceleration and the hill climb. Did it get the same range?
This is the big question. Yes, and so
is it still the range champion?
Yeah,
I think that's the question everybody wants to know.
And so the answer is yes and no. And like the other ones, it's. So here it is. Here are the numbers. So the official number is 47 miles versus the 50.3.
Yeah.
But it did it going a mile per hour faster on average. And just because it can, and if it can, you will. And if you do, this is the sort of mileage you're gonna get, because it's like it wouldn't make sense.
This is a complicated. This is something that we explain a lot in the forums, and some people have an issue with the way we do range tests, but we stand by
absolutely
the way we do it because we ride the scooters the way that we would ride them if it were us, and we want to give a realistic range, so we ride it as fast as that scooter will go safely. And so a Xiaomi M365, right, it's going to average probably 13, 12 miles per hour because, you got to slow down for stoplights and blah, 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 right? And scooters that are like the Dualtron Storm, we're going to ride that way faster because it can go faster.
Yeah, so we're not going to standardize and run everything at 15 because nobody's going to ride a Dualtron Storm at 15. Nobody's going to pay all that money to go 15.
Exactly.
And same thing with Wolf Warrior, we're not going to run that at 15.
Plus, it'd be really boring for us.
Yeah, and then we're also not going to run them flat out because not only would we die in traffic trying to go flat out the whole time, but nobody else does that either. I mean, you can do it for little periods of time, but we're really riding them it's a real world.
It's an urban loop.
Yeah.
It's got 6 stops, it's 4 turns, it's uphill, downhill, something like that. And so just to kind of break it down, right? The average speed on the range test was 18 versus 17.
Yeah.
Right. And so the newer one had a faster average speed and went 3 miles less range. So it went from 50 to 47. So just want to make sure it's really clear. So if we had ridden it at if
we took them both out,
if we
took them both out side by side and did it together, I'm convinced it would be they would basically stop at the same time, and I don't even know which one would go further. They'd be,
but on our website and the way that we do these things, it will be known as 47.
Yeah, because
we don't publish. We should, but we don't publish the average speed.
Yeah,
and that average speed is. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, and people are just going to go faster on it. You just are.
Yeah, because you can.
Yeah,
because you can, and why not?
And in fact, that was one of the things I really like about the new one is that you don't always need that kind of range. You don't always need the full range of the full battery. And so knowing that, hey, I'm going to ride 47 miles today. You can take advantage of the battery a little bit by just boogieing along a little, a little faster. So it's nice to have that option to be able to burn off some of that.
And less charges means better longevity.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah. And that's, you're going to not discharge it as deeply, you don't necessarily have to charge it all the way up, and so you can get longevity that way, or just by having less cycles in general.
Yeah. So anyway, so it is still the longest single it's the longest range for any single motor scooter. The top range is now the Nami. Yeah, the Nami has beat it for
but
overall.
For single motor, this is the longest range you can buy that we know of.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. So I think we covered the battery and the benefits of having the larger battery.
Yeah, but there is actually, I want to show sort of the not so secret trick that is at the fuels at the core of the Emove Cruiser. I've once speculated it was alien technology, but it's actually it's a 21700 cell versus an 18650. It is a larger battery cell. It's 21 millimeters by 700 millimeters, and we've got a photo of it here. This isn't the exact one, but this is the exact scale. And on the right is your standard 18650. That's what's in almost every other scooter. And it's a physically larger battery, but it's also more power dense. It contains 20% more energy per pound, gram, or whatever weight than your standard cell, and that's how the Cruiser pulls off this kind of amazing energy density, or how it pulls off so much range per pound. And I've got a graph. I think we've got. I kind of threw this one in the very last minute. Awesome, yeah. Oh, and so this is
you gotta have the graphs.
This is one of my favorite graphs, and
this show is for nerds. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. But I'll keep this one really simple.
What is this?
This is range versus weight. Higher is better. Higher is more range, and weight is going to the right. And
look at those too.
And so generally, you're getting more range as you get more weight, and so it's up and to the right. And then up in purple is the new the
new Cruiser.
The new Cruiser, okay. And actually no, I got them backwards. I got the colors backwards. I apologize,
you were trying to
folks.
do colors.
Yeah, I got the colors backwards.
That's
and
all right.
So we got the 2020 is showing there with the higher miles, and you'll notice there is an offset. They are not lined up vertically, which means they don't weigh the same amount.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
new.
Paul always catches this stuff because,
Yeah, I weighed them. Yeah, I weighed both of them back to back.
You weigh everything. You weigh everything.
And I also reconfigured it into the stock configuration. We're going to show you a bunch of other configurations, but I made sure they were 100% stock, and like all the bolts, everything was in the right place. And it's the new one's 5.1 pounds or 5.2 pounds, I think, more than the.
So it went from like 55 to 60 or 56 to 61, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and it's,
we have that.
Yeah, and it's mid 50s to high 50s basically.
Okay.
And it's it's got to be in the motor because that's the only
it's got to be
change.
Right. I mean,
and higher wattage. It's going to have more copper in there. It's gonna give you more longevity. I think it's gonna be a bigger, more robust motor.
Cool.
So that's another benefit.
I was noticing the boosted rev there. So far down.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
We already took it off. It's just fun to look at these.
I actually have to delete several data points so you can even see what's going on in here. And I always leave the rev. I'm always tempted to take it off, but I leave it.
It's a good placeholder because that's what it was known for. It's the anti-cruiser.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, in all, right, is you think the scooter is for a new rider? I mean, I guess we can all answer that, but what do you think?
As long as you're comfortable picking it up, and there is an accessory that makes that easier now, and we'll get into that. But absolutely, and that was one of the things I was worried about is that you don't want to change the Toyota Camry of scooters too much because it was awesome, and you don't want to ruin the good things about it. And I was worried like 600 watts to 1,000 watts. Is it going to be okay for everybody to ride? And it absolutely is. Yeah. Throttle response, it's as easy as ever to ride.
Yeah, and those pneumatic tires. A lot of people are commenting on the pneumatic tires or the
tubeless.
Sorry, the tubeless tires because they're nice.
That's a big feature to me. It really makes the tire sealant work so much better with a tubeless tire than it does with a tube tire.
For me, I think for new riders, you can go slow, right? New riders, you can go slow, but then also you can go to the max kind of without being the adrenaline seeker type person.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of, I can't tell you how, and if you're on any kind of social media group, so many people are like, I never need to go over and then choose your speed that's low. 15, they say. I'll never want to really go over 12. It's just too fast. And then like always, a couple months later, they get the scooter and they're like, yeah, I'm going 25 now. No big deal. I think we've all been through that. I know I have. Anyway, okay, so and then for, is it worth, from the 2020 model, right, which I think had so many upgrades.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about accessories yet, but you know, the scooter by itself, is it worth the upgrade? If you already own one, is it worth the upgrade?
And so that was the other thing. As soon as I heard about it, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, people that just got one are going to feel like, oh, they, you know, maybe they want to upgrade to the new one or whatever. It's not very different to ride. I mean, it's not like this, you know, huge change. So absolutely, I would say it's not something, if you already own one.
Yeah. The extra 4 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, and there's some other, like, you know, the fender, which we'll talk about in a second, is better.
But it's definitely, and I'm going to answer, I'll go ahead and answer the next question here as well, which is I
think Ramir may have an opinion on, on this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hey,
come back in here,
back.
Ramir.
Yeah, jump in.
Uh-oh. He's not back.
I'm going to grab my water, too.
Yeah. Wait, whoa, no. Okay. Chuck, you're still on camera right now.
Oh.
Okay, there we go. Now I'm back. Is it worth the upgrade? I'm going to say, you know, nobody told me to say this. This is my personal opinion. Being a big dog, for sure I'm going to go with yeah. Because, you know, the first one, I mean, the 2020, if you go back to my single motor scooters for big dogs, it was number 3. And I said if it had a little bit more acceleration and the top speed was a little bit higher, it would be number 1. It has the biggest deck. The suspension is great. And now it goes a little bit faster because, you know, when you're over 225, the scooter's not going to get the same speed as you know, somebody 150. But now with the extra added 4 miles per hour, it's up there. I was going downhill. It registered on a, you know, it said 30 on the thing. So I like it. I was going uphill easily. Yeah. And on the other one, the previous one, you know, the power was not there to take me up the hill as much. And with this one, I was breathing. So if it was me, the big roof out there, and even the little rooferettes, I will upgrade. Yeah. I think it's worth it.
Okay. Nice.
But you know, the other 2020 is also still good. So.
That's because I like the new one. I prefer the new one to the old one. But for me, at my weight at 160, it was not that big of a difference. And it wouldn't, like, if I own one already, I'd be like, I'm just happy with my own one. I'm going to stick with it. But that's really interesting to hear. That
maybe we got to get a couple a couple tests, you know, where Ramir does, you know, the hill climb and maybe some acceleration tests on the new end versus the old, and see how that does for the, you know, for the big dogs out there.
Yeah.
Roof. Awesome. Thank you, Ramir, for your perspective on that.
I had to come in.
You got to come in, man. Come in more often, man. We miss you over there. You're like, it looks like you're way far away, but you're only.
Look, that's our hand. We can't touch.
I just remember the other thing I was going to say. You were talking about the speedo. It's a dead accurate speedometer.
Really?
And so that when I was doing the 24 uphill, I went on GPS, or I went on our data logger, which is even, you know, better than most regular GPS because it goes like 6 satellites, and it was like 24, exactly 24 up the hill. And same thing with the top speed when it was reading. Yeah, it's dead.
Because when I'm reading these numbers, I'm like, I'm not getting this for real, but. It's good to know.
Yeah. So the new one, Paul, you know, you agree then that it is better.
Yeah.
For you, your weight, not worth the upgrade, but big dogs probably worth the upgrade for that extra speed, because that totally makes sense. And it weighs 5.2 pounds more. Any other, you know, things new that you notice about that scooter? This scooter?
Yeah. So the one
behind us.
Yeah. So the other new stuff is there is a new front fender, which is way nicer looking. This is the old one, and it's just kind of, you know, it gets the job done. It keeps the rain off.
Well, it had an issue, you know. I'm sure they fixed it again. You know, we do these things. We call it the 2020. We call it the 2021. But the way these things actually work is every time Voro Motors, or, you know, most good companies, they notice an issue with a part, they fix it pretty quick.
And then it's just wait.
Yeah, no. And so, you know, when we get it, yes, many things have changed, and we just for simplicity, just for like making it easy to understand, we call it the 2021. But that fender's probably been fixed for quite some time. Anyway, that fender from a year and a half ago, whenever we got it, heavier riders were having an issue with it rubbing, and for us, it just kind of popped off. The new one, much better.
Yeah, and it looks better too. I mean, you can kind of see it wheeling around behind. So it's like a half fender. It just comes around the back, and it's pretty cool looking. Yeah. All right, and it's also, of course, we mentioned before, you don't have to get it in purple. It comes in black, white, orange, classic orange.
We had to get the purple though.
Yeah, red. Did you even ask for that, or they just knew?
They knew. I don't remember. I think they knew because of the song, right?
That's what I thought too. Because I opened the box, I'm like, it's purple.
It's purple. All right. We'll just leave the song going and not get monetized on this video.
So the other change is that it has, the handlebars are round in the middle. The previous one, where the center of the handlebars right there in the middle where the handlebars come together. The center was square, and so it wasn't always the easiest to
that's
clamp
a big
onto.
deal.
And that came up in reviews, and Voro clearly listens. I mean, you see them show up in the comments all the time on videos. And they clearly listened and came out with a nice round center so you can mount more stuff on it. So that was pretty cool. Oh.
TDR, drones and e-bikes.
Hey.
Hey, he says, or she says, great show as always, and thank you very much for the super chat. Awesome, love it.
Good to hear
And
from you again.
It's nice to be back. I don't know. I gotta say, I kind of miss.
It's
I
pretty
kind of
great.
miss. I miss the
Yeah.
show. I just actually enjoy it. I used to
Yeah.
be so scared to go on the air. Now it's not
That's
a big
true.
deal. Anyway,
Kind of forgot to be nervous this time. I was
Yeah.
having so much fun.
yeah, you just gotta not prepare. That's,
Yeah,
that's
you
the
just
secret.
dive in.
Yeah.
Dive in. Speaking of diving in, I'm going to dive into
Yeah.
the accessories.
Yeah, show us the accessories because these are really.
Oh my
you
God.
know, there's a lot.
I had so much
going
fun with this. You know, when I first when the scooter arrived, it arrived with a big pile of parts, and I'm like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "This looks like a lot of work," but actually, it was a lot of fun. I love twist throttle. I'm a motorcycle rider. I love twist throttles, and one of the accessories is this wonderful twist throttle. It comes with a separate display, which is QSS4 style display, and this great twist grip. And there's also a matching grip for the other side, because otherwise you will have non-matching grips. It installs in about 8 minutes is what it took me. It costs $69, and it's plug and play. It's got this little quick disconnect connector, and so it's literally like 8 minutes to put on, and I liked it so much I did the entire 47-mile range test with this installed, and I loved it. It was especially nice sitting down. It was a good combo because you're kind of anchored and you just kind of motorized. It's almost like having cruise control. I've got the original throttle. This is just your standard, and this is the upgraded water more water resistant.
Is it
one.
X4, X6?
I think this one's X6. Yeah, I know
Double check.
I know it got upgraded at some point too, because that was one of the weak points earlier on. Great visibility on all of these, and then what's on the scooter right now is the thumb throttle, and that's the paddle style that kind of swings.
The big one.
Swings sideways, the big one, and it does just like it does on the Nami. It has a little bit of a dead zone when you first start pushing.
It's the
on
same exact part.
Yeah.
Right. I think.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
And then, but in the same solution, it works really well. You anchor your thumb and kind of rock into it. So you anchor on the housing itself and rock into it, and then it just gives you it eliminates the dead zone, gives you a nice throttle response. That one is also $69. That one was slightly faster because you're
Faster to install.
yeah, that was faster to install because I think it's, let's see, I can't remember why it's faster to install. It was
all right.
a little bit easier. It's 6 minutes and $69 for that one.
They're all under 10 minutes until you get to the looks like trunk. But go ahead.
Yeah, the easiest one of all is maybe, I don't know if I want to say pick favorites, but it's pretty great because for the
That's
longest
a
time,
nice one.
the Emove Cruiser, one of its shortcomings is there's nowhere to. It has a really cool, smooth-looking sides on it. It's like not going to snag your ankles when you're riding or whatever. But it also there's not a lot of great places to grab onto it when you're picking it up when it's
From the back.
From the back,
Yeah,
like
that
when
back
it's,
you kind of really have to reach in there.
When you fold it, you pick it up by the stem, but when it's not folded, which is a lot of the time, you just want to move it. Anyway, this bolts down at the back of the deck and is a great flat handle. This is $25 and 4 minutes.
It's pretty
well
solid.
worth it.
It's
I would
pretty solid.
absolutely buy this.
Yeah.
Super solid aluminum. 4 bolts.
Yeah.
I would absolutely buy this if I had a cruiser. And next one is pretty cool. It's a little on the pricey side, but it's high-end stuff. This is the trunk, and it's branded, and it is waterproof case, so much so that it actually has a little vent on the front to let it breathe when it gets hot, so it doesn't explode or something. But it's got foam inside. You could put more foam. You could actually cut stuff out to, so you could put something. I've actually been keeping this, all these accessories for the scooter in this case, but it's
not cheap.
Yeah, it's $125
it's
or $120.
It's a pretty legit, solid, very solid. It's not breaking.
And this guy mounts on. It's got this really nicely, solid built little thing that you kind of assemble yourself, and this bolts onto the back of the scooter. It actually hangs on the rear handle. So the rear this kit comes with the trunk and then the mounting bracket and then the rear handle. So you get that too, and that's pretty cool. So that one I like too. But I think the best bang for the buck is the seat.
Yeah, Paul, you really like this seat. Paul is like very, he discriminates about his seat preference.
I've never been a fan of seated, of putting seats on regular scooters. They felt a little silly to me riding around.
They don't ever work that well. Many of them don't work that well.
This felt awesome. I mean, I literally I didn't have to do. I mean, I could have done the full range test standing up. I mean, I always do. But I put this on. I liked it so much. I'm like, I'm sitting down for 47, 50 miles, however long it is. And it was, it's $65. It includes the, you've got this little bracket that this seats into. And then you've got the, the seat assembly itself. It's adjustable in height. It's like an office chair. In fact, in more ways than you know. So you can adjust the height. And then it's also, the way the office chairs sort of give and have a little bit of shock absorber to them when you like bounce into them. It does that when you're riding it. And I was actually it was more comfortable taking bumps sitting down than standing up. I was riding it off curbs by the end of the range test. I ride off curbs sitting down, and it would just go. It was awesome, love it. In fact, we've got a. And then I got a little silly with it and realized that it was the same size shaft as my actual office chair that I'm sitting in right now. And so we actually have a video clip of what happened next. There we go. And that is the chair I'm sitting in right now. I'm actually not on the scooter, but that's the same, I took this chair apart and stuck it on the scooter and was riding it around the neighborhood.
So if you buy the seat upgrade, you can put an office chair on it, basically. As long as it's the same, what was it, 47?
Yeah, I think it's like 50 or it was 47 or 50 millimeters, but it seems to be a standard size. I was like, hey, that looks the same. And sure enough, it was like, yeah. Anyway, and there's another surprise coming later related to that whole thing. And then the last accessory is the fully adjustable handlebars. So in the past, if you had an Emove Cruiser or any of these sort of Titan variants, you get the folding handlebars, but that's it. You can't really do anything with it if you really wanted to customize it or change it. And now there's this race face adapter, and so this is the adapter part right here, and that's clamping onto a set of handlebars you're probably familiar with. These are the style that
these are around. You've probably seen if you're around a lot of scooters, you've seen these.
And so these guys...
They lock in solid.
Yeah.
They lock in solid.
And you can tune them to make them sort of as solid as you want, and then they fold down like that. But you can, any set of handlebars you want, it can go in, or any set of, mountain bike handlebars or whatever can go into this adapter. So it gives you the ability to swap them out. Now, this is not probably an accessory I would do unless I really, really, really wanted it. And the reason is it's probably about a 45-minute install, and you have to cut off you have to cut off the other handlebars, like throw a pipe cutter on there, and then just take the head right off the other. And so it's a one-way. It's a lot of work. It's a one-way trip. But if you really want to do it, it is available and you can do it. So it's kind of nice knowing the options there.
Paul, thank you for spending the time to install and review and time yourself and everything, all the accessories for the Emove Cruiser.
That was a blast.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, overall, what's your take after, the accessories and everything?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, it's a scooter that has it has evolved over time, and it's just gotten incrementally. Well, it made a big jump last time and incrementally better this time. For me, not enough to sell my old one and buy a new one, but definitely prefer the new one. I think it's great changes, and we're gonna find out. So all of these accessories can be applied to the earlier Cruiser, and there's a question we're gonna ask Melvin about even taking it further. Is it possible to upgrade the motor too? We'll find out.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay, so I mean, we're gonna get Melvin on the line, but then right after that, we'll take your questions about the Cruiser. Then we'll get into some kind of awesome news stories for the last few weeks that are actually pretty interesting.
Funny stuff coming up.
Some cool stuff afterwards, and then we'll also answer your just general questions about any scooter. So I know some people have been asking about that. Okay, so do we have Melvin here? Hello, Melvin. Melvin.
Can you hear us?
Hey.
All right.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey. Thanks for having me.
You looks like you're in a new spot. Is that one of those fake backgrounds, or is that a real background with trees and everything over there?
I'm in our new office, new area right now. So those are real trees. We have very nice greenery.
And a real dog.
And there's a dog.
Yeah.
Awesome. So just some questions about the Cruiser. So first off, just, how did the original Cruiser, how did that scooter come to be? Like, how was that developed and why, I guess?
Right. So for the original Cruiser, how we started developing it is that we look around in the market. We look at all the scooters that are in the market. They're all fitted with inner tubes. Customers are always complaining there's not enough range. There are always constant flat tires. So we fix those fundamental issues by using tubeless tires, using LG battery, 30 ampere LG battery, to provide real 60 miles range on a single charge. And at that time, when we came out with the Cruiser with the tubeless tire, no one in the market is using tubeless tire, unless you start to go the $3,000, $4,000 price class.
Yep. So I mean, that totally makes sense. I just remember when that second, for me, the second one came out, and you just threw every single feature that everybody was talking about. You just put it on that scooter and did it well. And so, I think that, anyway, that I remember that. And, no, that's awesome. What, so this version that we have now, right, seems a little more like evolution rather than revolution in terms of the changes. It seems like you stuck to the original one pretty closely. Was that on purpose? What's the, do you agree, I guess, with that assumption?
Yeah, I agree. So it really speaks about our culture of always improving, and that's what we practice and what we preach at our team here and our company every day. And it showcases on the products that we sell and we deliver to our customers. So we always try to improve on the products, improve on how we improve on certain things that customer want. We have this constant feedback loop from our customer service team, and we always listen to our community, what you want to see on the Cruiser, make those incremental changes quickly, rather than changing the whole product over. But we want to ensure that our customers are heard and we can make those changes.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense not to change too much of a great selling scooter that's, that so many people have and all that kind of stuff. So, for all the accessories that we just covered that Paul mentioned, can they go on the older version Cruiser? So if somebody has one from, say, they bought a year ago, can they get any of those or all of those accessories and put them on their Cruiser that they have already?
Yeah, they can. So the idea of any update that we do, we always consider our existing customers, right? If we make this update, can they use it? So every time we come up with a new accessory, all of our customers can use it.
Okay, so those 6 accessories, they all can work with the older Cruisers. That's great.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And when did, was the Cruiser always plug and play, or is that I'm trying to think of when that happened, or was the, because I don't have the white one anymore. I remember there was a white one. I think we swapped it for the orange one or something, for the second that we got. But where was it always plug and play, or was that that happened at a certain time?
Yeah, I think it happened during late 2019 to early 2020.
Okay.
That was the time when we started to change our business model and ship mostly online, and then we start to understand customers need to be able to replace parts quickly, and we need to make it super easy for them. So that's how we start to integrate plug and play components every part of the Cruiser.
Awesome. What about the motor? So, Ramir was saying like he would totally get this new version mainly for the motor, it sounds like, because it works with his weight a lot better and gets him up to speed. I know Ramir likes to be he's a racer. So, can you take the newer motor and put it, or buy the newer motor and put it into one of the, the older cruisers?
Older cruisers? Yeah, so same thing, like whenever we come up with a design update, for the new motors, all of our old customers, pre-2020 customers, they can use the new motor and just feed it in. We are still using the same controllers.
Okay.
So
is it like available to buy, or is the motor available to buy separate? I wouldn't think it would be, but maybe it is on. Do you guys sell that separate?
Yeah, we are going to sell that. So I think we are having shipments every week. So the new motors that for the cruisers, they will be coming in very soon. And something that's super cool that we're working on right now is plug and play motor. So like you can just unplug the cable, install it back
plug
in.
and play motor.
Yeah, that's it. Like
wow.
there's no
Okay.
wiring and stuff.
Oh wow. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other questions I have. We heard that you guys were working on some kind of similar seat than our seat. Is there an update for? Is it going to be an option to have a seat, like a seat, not just the butt seat, but like an actual seat?
Yeah. So when Paul sent us the seat, how he did it with the seat post, the office chair style, we sent it over to our factory straight away, and we got started working on the design like right away. We came out with a few prototypes, and I think the end products, we are trying to make it smaller, but it will have back, so the customers can lay there.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
in the future you will be able to get a seat. Like we should call it a chair. We should call it a chair, not a seat anymore, right? Because it's like an office chair, but you're saying you're gonna sell that as an actual accessory for people that actually want a seat with a back. And I was actually thinking kind of for like mobility issue, people that have that are in a wheelchair or something like that. I've seen so many contraptions that people have made on their own out of necessity. Anyway, we have a picture here of the red cruiser, and so this, I didn't realize when you sent me this, I didn't realize this was going to be an actual option for people to sit in. But it looks way more comfortable than just a seat. I mean, I don't know, when I'm eating dinner, I don't like to sit at the bar stool. I like to have a back on my chair. So, there you go.
Although Melvin did mention something earlier in conversation with us, and that was this is not something that you should go do on your own. Voro is developing a special mount that will work well for this seat, because it's this type of seat, a big heavy seat like this, needs more support than a bicycle seat, and so don't do what I did. I was goofing around, but Melvin is not goofing around. This is if they release something, it's a real product.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, like, very interesting. I'd love to know what happens with that and who buys it and what their needs are, because expanding the market to, different types of riders is really, I think it's a great thing. So great. Let's see. Any updates on water resistance for the 2021 version of the cruiser? What's the IP rating, and how's that all working?
So that's going to remain the same, IPX6. That's not going to change.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
And then what is availability like right now for the cruiser and the options and even the different colors? Is everything available now? And what's kind of, what's in stock, what's not, like, is it ready to go, I guess is the question.
Yeah, so our team is working super hard to ensure all of our stock level is constantly at a level that customers can constantly order. So we have everything in stock, all colors right now. White cruiser just came back in stock today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
So everything is back in stock. We can ship out to to 3 business days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I know that you guys had just cut your coupon code, which I totally understand. But then for the show, you're bringing it back for a week, I think. Is that right? Or do you have a time limit on the?
So it's a temporary arrangement. There's no timeline yet. We would remove it anytime soon, very, very, very soon.
Okay.
So
Okay. So we had taken, I know I'm sure we had taken it off the website probably already, but for those watching, it's electric-scooter.guide, I believe is the code still. And it is in the video description. So check the video description. If you're going to buy the scooter, use the code, save some money. I believe this will be if I recall, you guys, no more discounts on, for that scooter, except for just this one, just for this time. And I think unless maybe there's a Black Friday or, who knows what happens in the future, but, yeah. Okay, good. Well, I'm sure everybody appreciates that you, reinstated the coupon code temporarily just for our audience. And then before we have a few questions from the audience about the cruiser, but before we get to that, is there anything that we missed on the cruiser? Did we cover the cruiser? Was there any changes that we missed or anything like that?
No, not really on the cruisers. Not that I know of. So we have a few company updates. Not sure if.
Yeah. Well, so how about let me ask you a couple questions and then let's go to the company updates because I definitely want to hear about that. Amazing Shades asks, can you have the seat and the trunk box attached at the same time?
No, it cannot be used at the same time.
Okay. Trunk or seat. Okay. Josh Perry asks, how many miles do these tubeless pneumatic tires last on normal road or bike lane conditions?
Bike lane conditions.
Bike lane, well, so I get, bike lane typically going to be maybe better. Like depends on, basically it's like what's the, I think the general question is like these tires, how many miles will they last typically?
So it really depends on how you use it. If you are using it on street bike lane conditions, I've seen customers that use it for a good 1-2 years without changing the tires.
What would you say in terms of miles? How many miles would that be? Just rough.
So this is always a tricky question, right? It depends on how hard you use.
Yeah.
And then if you go very fast and you brake hard, that's going to wear your tires out faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you seen? Has anybody kind of like come back to you and say, hey, I got, X thousand miles on my scooter, or do you know if they had changed their, I guess you may not know if they changed their tires, but.
Yeah, so we actually have this Emove owners club on Facebook. There's this, when you go to the Facebook group, there's this 2,000, 5,000 miles club. We have a customer in Dubai that reached 10,000 miles on his cruise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll have to ask them if they change their tires, or, how many times. Choice Gaming is asking, any word on if there will be a vertical thumb throttle for the cruiser?
Yes. That's going to come out, I think, closer to the end of the year, but it's something that we are working on.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Thank you. So I got another question, but it's about the scooter in the background. But if you want to go into your company updates, first, go for it.
So New York office is opening soon, so we are expanding our service region and bandwidth. So we are opening up our New York office within the next 3 to 4 weeks time.
New York sales office?
No, so yes, sales, but mostly we are very focused on the after sales side of things. So we want to have the ability to take care of customers.
Yep.
So we are opening up the full-fledged service center so that customers can bring in, our New York riders can bring in their scooters, they can
Awesome.
remove the Carbo, the Duotrons, they can bring it to us, we can take care of them.
Yep.
Okay.
No, that's exciting.
Yep. Also, if anyone is at this point, they want to start an electric scooter business, they want to get into the business, and they want to be our dealers, they can apply on our website and they will get access to Emove, Carbo, and Duotron, basically the 3 best brands in the US right now. Oh,
okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So it's on your website if someone's interested in getting being a dealer. And you guys have quite a few dealers, I think. What, 13, 18, something like that.
Correct. So we are very focused on having the ability to take care of our customers no matter where they are. So we want to try to expand the region geographic.
Got it. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
What else? What is that scooter you got back there? We got about 4 people asking about the scooter, and I almost forgot about it because it's been a while. But yeah, what's going on with that? That's the Roadrunner. Am I correct?
That's a Roadster.
Roadster.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the news?
Roadster is not a myth. So I know we dragged this process out quite some time, but that's because we demolished the old and entire design mold to recreate a new design mold, just to make sure that we have the right product. We get the basic fundamentals right. Roadster is currently, the new Roadster is currently in mass production. We hope we can start shipping very, very soon. So it will be the first full carbon fiber scooter in the world that you can actually get without paying 10 grand waiting for 1 year.
So it's fully so the deck, the stem, just like it's all carbon fiber. So what does it weigh then?
Right now, the one that I have at my back, at the back, is about 70 pounds.
Okay. And it's what are the main specs, like motor size, battery, this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so the battery is very close to the Wolf King. Right now, the top speed is very close to Wolf King, but half the weight.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. High 50s or around 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, around 50 miles per hour.
And then and you said the battery is about the same as the Wolf King, which top of my head is at 1500, 16. I got
72 volts, 28 ampere.
Say one more time.
72 volts and 28 ampere. Yeah.
72 times.
That's
28.
what we're
okay. Okay. Yeah. So 1500 something total watt, and it'll be a 72 volt scooter. And what's the wattage, I guess, on the motors themselves?
So front and back, we are doing 2000 nominal right now. So front is 2000 watts, back is 2000 watts.
Okay. Wow. So it's going to be really fast, I'm guessing. Super fast. Okay. What is it? Choice Gaming's asking, and everybody wants to know, what will it cost? And how much what are you thinking for price?
I think we are aiming for 3,500 range.
Okay.
So it will be very affordable.
Yeah. So this would be you're looking at, and you said weight will be 70 pounds?
70-ish, but we cannot confirm it until we finish our whole mass production phase.
Interesting. And then what is, so carbon fiber, any other kind of unique features of this scooter that are included?
So I think having the scooter with all the specs that you want and in full carbon fiber, half the weight of the scooters that you have in the market right now is a big itself. Yeah.
So basically, the power of a Wolf King, the battery of a Wolf King, in the size of I don't know, a little bit heavier than a Mantis, basically.
Yeah, heavier than a Mantis, not a little bit heavier than a Mantis.
Yeah, Mantis 65 pounds. This will be 70, 75, somewhere in there. Okay. Someone's asking, will you have dealers in Canada? Any expansion into Canada?
If there's dealers in Canada that are interested to be our dealer, give us a call.
Okay.
We are here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And then, what are we looking at for time? You said that it's in mass production. What does that mean? When will pre-orders be available? When do you think it would actually ship? When are you going to list it on the website for orders? Or is it already there? I didn't see it.
We are looking to ship. Target timeline is before the end of this year. So
okay.
This year. So our target timeline is before the end of this year.
Interesting. Okay. I can't wait to try one out. That'll be super fun. I'm gonna have to study the. I just saw it for the first time when we were doing our pre-show check. So, the monitor is like 12 feet away, so I can't I'm gonna go study this, later and see what else I can find out. So no, this is exciting. I'm glad that this is like happening. And to find a scooter that's gonna be that powerful that the thing about the Wolf Warrior, I love it, but for me, it's just I do need to be able to put it in a car and stuff like that, and it is a bit of a, it's a process to get that Wolf into a big trunk or a bed of a car, especially for someone like me that I'm not super big, so having something that is under 80 pounds would be. I think that's really interesting because it sounds like it'll be probably the most powerful, longest range scooter at that weight.
We'll do our best.
Yeah. No, exciting. Okay. Anything else, Melvin? Any other news or updates?
I think that's all I have. But because this is the Emove Cruiser show, I think Emove Cruiser closing remarks, right?
Yes.
Emove Cruiser is probably the only scooter, and if you are in the market for an electric scooter under $1,400, there's no other scooter out there that has legit LG battery, 30 ampere, tubeless tires. Tubeless tires, you can only start getting them $3,000, $4,000 and above. Hybrid hydraulic brakes, all the accessories. You can change the throttles, twist throttle, thumb throttles. Oh yeah, one last thing.
Yes.
One last update that we want to do. So we are going to come up with this service that allows customer to ship in their entire motor, especially those tubeless tires, tubeless tire style of motors, the Wolf King, the Wolf Warrior, Emove Cruiser, anything that's tubeless, some of the Duotrons, we will ship them a box, that's pre-made, they can put in their motor, ship it in to us. We will have this 2 to 3 business day turnaround time that we can change the tire for them. It's a service that we are going to come up with.
Wait, so they take the tire off themselves, they put the tire in the box?
Yeah, just the motor itself, the whole motor, because you can disconnect the motor easily, right? We have video tutorials that show them how to do it. So it's a service that we'll be introducing in the very future.
Interesting. I know tire change is one of the biggest pain points for a lot of people with their scooters, especially if they're not super mechanically inclined. And some tires are just hard to, change. I watch Paul change them, and it looks hard just watching him sometimes.
It's super difficult. And so our team, especially on the technician side, we invest in getting like tire changing machine. So we have this whole machine run on and change the tires just for tubeless tires.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's it. Yeah, that sounds good. When does that look to start? And what will that cost somebody?
So we are building a web page right now. So it's a whole back-end system in place so that we want to make sure that we get all the nuances correct, so that it's a very seamless process for the customer.
Okay, awesome. One last question. I saw it come up. John Richardson is asking, will Voro carry the Wolf King GT?
Yes.
Okay.
It's coming very, very soon. The shipment, I think, is already in Los Angeles. We are going through the custom clearance process, I think. But it's going to take a while still. Yeah.
Okay.
We will have the website up very, very soon.
Okay, awesome. That's all the questions. I really appreciate your time, Melvin. Congrats on the new office. It looks good. I'm excited about the Cruiser and of course the Roadster there. And someone also asked about the Roadrunner. Just last question then is any updates on the Roadrunner this is from Walpole Prison. Someone's calling in from prison.
I just got news this morning that our Roadrunner shipment is going through the custom clearance process. We should get it here by early next week, and we can start shipping them by late next week.
Okay.
That's a realistic timeline.
Awesome. I can't wait to kind of get the updated version, because I remember we kind of made that video of like things that we'd like to change and things we really like. And actually, that's a scooter I was riding myself as my personal scooter until you made us give it back. So anyway, that'll be I'm excited about that.
Okay.
Anything else? I think that's it. Melvin, thank you again for coming on. Always a pleasure. Everybody, thanks for answering everybody's questions. And yeah, so he answered about the Roadrunner. Yeah, I'm seeing the questions come by right now. So yeah, and until we talk again, yeah, thank you again, and yeah, we'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk soon because we got some other Dualtron stuff in the works, I think.
Okay, thanks Chuck, thanks Ramir, thanks Paul.
Yeah, Paul had to go. He picks up his kid now. So anyway, Paul already left, but yeah, talk soon, Melvin. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice. Yeah. So we didn't say goodbye to Paul, but Paul left
I waved at him.
during the interview.
Paul's in the chat. He's actually.
Oh, he's in the. Well, he should be. Paul is driving. Paul, stop! Don't drive and. Anyway, Paul left during the. Paul now has to go like a little early because he got to pick up his kid from school and kind of do that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, Cruiser. Some fun stuff. Some cool news coming out of Voro. I love to see. The service updates, as much as like we all love scooters, it's not a complete product if you don't have good service, right? And so it's nice to see, them stepping up to do, the tire change, just ship it in the box. Like, what's that? Yeah. That's cool. I would use that. I'm not a tire changer.
Yeah, not at all. Remember, it's just me and you trying to do something. Luckily, we got
no
Richie
way. And then Richie was tell stories. So no, that's cool. All right, so don't hang up. Don't hang up the phone. Stay with us because we got like 4 crazy news items that have built up over the last couple weeks. We want to share them with you, including a guy who chased down somebody on a scooter, including some cybersecurity CEO that like actually used air tags to anyway. But before that, we're going to do a quick commercial break sponsored by My Very First Scooter, U-Scooters.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. First thing that's going on. Okay, so check this out. There was a video, maybe you guys saw it, but there was a bike thief that was caught by someone riding a 010X, a blue 010X. So check out this video. We'll kind of play it, but let me get volume's on. So anyway, he the first part of the video, I guess he's kind of just yeah. So he just saw the bike get stolen halfway through this video.
Oh, and he's chasing him.
And he starts chasing the guy down.
Oh, went past that stuff. Yeah.
On the scooter, he's chasing this guy. Now watch this first intersection. Watch this guy. Just goes in between 2 cars. So the scooter has to go on, looks like the wrong, the bike lane in the wrong, one-way street going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Chasing him down.
Look at that. Yeah, that's crazy. It's like out of a movie right now.
Yeah, this is like a real deal.
Bad boys. What you gonna do?
Man, I watched that show growing up.
Wait.
He caught him.
Stop. I did back, yes. Stop.
He's like, stop.
He just says stop.
Stop.
Anyway, so he's going. Raymir, what would you do if you saw someone steal a bike? Would you chase?
If I was on a scooter, I might be like Chris Boney. Remember Chris? He chased down a guy.
Oh yeah, he did. That's right. He did do that. Armadillos, the owner of Armadillos.
Oh, there it is. Oh, he got him.
Dog, I want the bike back. It's not yours.
Oh, he punched him. Oh, yeah, I'd have been fooled.
I think he tried to knock the camera out or something.
Wow.
I mean, so he takes. I mean, this is a true Samaritan right here.
Yeah.
True good Samaritan.
What would you do, Chuck?
I mean,
what would Chuck do?
Well, so I've been thinking about it because I got honked at, the other day by that car, and actually I'm thinking I would definitely chase and then but I'm not trying to get in a fight with someone that's like huge, but I'm definitely you know how they say like a security guard, you like what is it, like watch and call or something like that. I would try to get on the horn. Anyway, I think it goes and he gives the bike back to the guy. Let's see if we can. What's that?
Watching him the whole fucking time.
Observe and report.
Thank you.
And I got it on GoPro too. It was
I'd give
sick.
you some money if I had some.
That's cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's good,
cool.
man.
That's cool. Yeah.
Wow,
Observe and, Richie says observe and report. That I mean, I'd like to say, it's just that, life, you just don't know what kind of weapons people have, especially, I don't know. I see
shout
some
out to that
videos
scooter rider,
anyway,
man.
but that's super cool. That's super cool. Okay, next up, so Unagi has a new, basically a new pitchman, which is Iggy Pop. And if you don't, know about Unagi, well, you should know Unagi, but what you may not know is that David, their owner, right, his background is actually in music. So he was the CEO of Beats, right, which is got bought by Apple for probably a lot of money. And then he was also, something back in the day, because not that I used to download MP3s or anything.
That's the prettiest bike
but
I've ever seen.
let me turn that. I got it. But basically, he actually co-founded Gracenote, which is I think at the time was the leading and maybe still is the metadata for MP3s where it shows the song name and the person and a bunch of other information. Gracenote, I believe, is like the metadata something or other for that. Anyway. Pretty cool. So anyway, so he has ties to the music industry. So here's the new, I'll just play the 30-second deal here.
Nagi. I'd steal one.
Yeah, steal one. That guy.
If I could.
Would you chase Iggy Pop on a Unagi?
Maybe they should rename it Iggy. Yeah.
Cool. Dude is wearing no shoes on the scooter too. But anyway, what do you think? I mean, who's this commercial
who's this
for?
guy?
Well, do you know Iggy Pop? I don't really. I mean, I heard of him before, but I think it's a little bit past my generation.
Maybe. But Unagi, they have the celebs on their scooter all the time.
They do.
They do.
He's good at that. He told me a story. We're actually having lunch. He's local, right? So we've had lunch a couple of times. So he was telling me a story about, because I was wondering how he got his, what is it, Scooters Behaving? It's one of those, it was the big Instagram.
Yeah.
It was either Scooters Behaving Badly or Bird Graveyard. It was one of those two. And if you look at it, at least maybe still, that's the URL. I mean, it's Unagi that got their URL, and I guess he ended up finding the guy that owned it or something. Anyway, pretty interesting that Unagi's just a different kind of company, right? They it's like they come from a once you kind of talk to the owners of some of these companies, they're some of them are coming from different places in their business careers, right? And some are younger, some are more seasoned. Yeah. So anyway. I think that, I like the business side of things, so it's always interesting. Okay, next up. Now, this one's real interesting. So, a cybersecurity CEO ended up finding his stolen electric scooters because he had air tags hidden in them. And this is a full Twitter, kind of feed. So basically what happened was he had a lock. It looks like a chintzy lock. Not a really good one, right? So he didn't lock it and I think he maybe messed up on the locking. Anyway, the scooter got stolen. Okay. So he had two air tags installed. One was actually a decoy air tag that was in the wheel well. That's the fake one, even though it was real. right? It was still an
okay.
AirTag, but that's when he like wanted somebody to find if they had stolen his scooter. I think he must live in New York or something, right? But the real one was actually inside of the stem, and he duct taped it so it would be like dark and black, right? Because the AirTag, you know, it could be shiny with the
it's like white
with
and
the
silver.
with the battery, right?
Yep.
So he tried. So he found, you know, so because it had the AirTag, right? You know, I've never used the AirTag, but I just got a couple just to test this whole thing out. But basically, he tried to get the police to help him recover it because he found out where it was. The police were like reluctant, and basically they just didn't help him because they were like, they didn't know if he was trying to just steal one or, you know, what was going on. And I think they didn't understand the technology. That's basically, right?
They thought a guy was trying to steal a scooter, so he enlisted their help.
But anyway, so they didn't help him. So he ended up going on a trip for a week, and he came back. He got the help of the police. The scooter was at a it was a bike store. It was like a used scooter or whatever. And basically he got the scooter back. So AirTags helped him save the scooter. And then in the post, what I thought was interesting was that he actually has 4 tips for if you're going to AirTag your scooter. So 1, use an AirTag adhesive that blends in and muffles the noise, because when you like try to locate it, I guess the AirTag, you know, they can make noise. And it was clear that the thief was actually looking for the AirTag. This is what he wrote: don't turn on lost mode. It immediately alerts the thief that they're being tracked. So don't turn that on. Number 3, act quickly before the anti-stalking feature kicks in. So I guess there's an anti-stalking feature. Damage done to my handlebars was likely in response to the regular noises from AirTag. So the thief was looking for it, and then kind of tore up the scooter a little bit. And then number 4, limit your in-person interactions and always involve the police. Don't try to retrieve your stolen goods until you have backup. So unless you got that one guy with the blue 010X, or maybe, you know, or a friend to help you, you know, to be careful out there. Anyway, I was just thinking it would be kind of a fun video to make, you know, do something on you know how to install AirTags or something. Or maybe we go get a scooter stolen and we go and do a recovery.
We do
a sting operation. We make a sting operation, something like that.
That's funny.
Know? That'd be kind of fun.
I don't know.
Should we do it?
I'm down.
I mean, I know some places where we can get some scooters stolen probably pretty quick.
Yeah, I think we have.
I go play pickleball in Bush Run. There's always police over there. There are always helicopters. That's how we actually see at night when we play there. Helicopters. Not joking. Next story. So this is just a 1-minute clip that I thought was hilarious. Basically, this is how this is a video. How different people react when you pass them on. Well, this is for a bike, but you could actually say that it was a scooter. And I think back to I think it was Brian? It was Scooter Gang, right? I think he makes some videos. He really doesn't like it. I hope I'm talking about the right person. He really doesn't like it when people are not getting out of the way for him. So this is the video on how the way people get away.
On your left. On your left. On your left. On your left.
The worst.
On your left.
Man.
On your left.
That's the one I get on the scooter.
Do you get that one?
On your left.
The little kid one.
On your left.
Oh, in Berkeley? All day.
Say that sooner.
I get this all day.
Dog park.
On your left.
Oh my gosh.
On your left.
This is the best one.
That's
this one.
Super accurate.
This one, they just
On your
don't move.
On your left.
What?
Say it. Don't you say it.
On your left.
Come on.
Why is it the Falcon though?
I have no idea.
I don't understand the Falcon.
Me
but
neither.
Anyway, I think I get the most I get is when so I do try to say it. I got to yell it loud because I got my face mask on, right? And I guess the most common one that I get is probably like the entitled, where they just don't move. right? They just don't move, and I got to just slow down to like a walking pace. What about you? What do you
I get that one. I get the headphones the worst, and then
the headphones. What do you do?
Yeah, just
Honk that horn.
But they blast, and they really can't hear nothing. So you have to really just.
You got to
ride
get the
slow
get the Nami horn or the
Right.
Wolf Warrior
Yeah,
horn, the motorcycle horn.
and then
Blast them.
The indecisive, where people kind of don't know where to go. I'm like, you dancing in the street? Like, come on, dude, you just take a side.
The other worst is when you get like two people that are walking and they take up either the whole bike lane, the whole side. Well, I'm not riding the side, but either the whole, because in Berkeley we got that nice bike boulevard, and they take up the whole thing, or they're in the street and they're not on the sidewalk. I get it, COVID, separate, whatever. But then it's like, look around you. Yeah, I don't know. What are you doing?
It's always one of the things when you're on the scooters, saying on your left or having to use the horn and people just not like responding to it.
Yeah, I think when I got, because I'm on the Nami right now, if I got that big horn, I'm probably gonna put a little bell because like I don't like scaring people. That's no good. I want to also show we had Photo Friday last week, we're gonna switch over to
the rundown,
Photo
quick
Friday,
rundown,
and then we're gonna do the Facebook giveaway by Voro Motors. And thank you. And then if there's any other questions, we'll get to those in just a second. I don't know if there were. David Voss is writing down questions from the comments. If you have any, shoot them over. We can answer questions about any scooter that you want to know about. So Photo Friday. We good? We ready? Yeah, we're ready. So honorable mention goes out to.
No, it's Bumper.
Man, it's been so long, I forgot. Jeez. Bumper. Okay. Honorable mention this week goes out to Dion. Could be Dion.
Maybe Dion.
Dion Salum-Bides in Oakley, California on a weeped. And this might be my favorite picture out of the three.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Runner-up goes out to Saw Dobb. So congrats to Saw Dobb for this super shot. This looks like the Fido, probably. Yes. And then the winner this week is none other than Nath Guevara on a Yumi 11. This is a Food Panda delivery in the Philippines. So pretty cool. More and more we're seeing people use scooters, especially that Dualtron Storm, for food delivery. So
you see that Dennis Ramos comment? He said he took a bad fall on his going downhill. A lady crossed the bike lane with headphones on. The worst.
Well, so that is one of the, so I did a big study on why people fall. This is a long time ago now, right? It was a Reddit thing that I did, and then I categorized it, whatever. It's actually a live show where I have the results, but anyway, people jumping out sight unseen is actually one of the big causes. And what are you going to do there? Like, what are you going to do? I mean, luckily that hasn't happened to me. I have cord doors. I had a bunch of other stuff. But, when someone comes out in the middle, from sight unseen, what are you going to do? Brandon Smith says, instead of doing the on your left, he just gives people the Ric Flair, woo! Make sure they hear
car dealing, baby. I like
do
Ric
it.
Flair.
Do it. Can you do it?
I don't. Let me get a Ric Flair. Nah, I don't know.
We'll have to get that sound effect next time.
We gotta get it.
Okay, so we love our Facebook community, and now it's time for the Facebook giveaway.
Facebook giveaway. All right.
So giveaway is the Handlebar extender, the Dr. Orange tire sealant, which I believe is actually Armadillo's.
Really?
Yeah. And a cell phone holder. Shipping to the USA and Canada only. Sorry for all you international folks. We love you, but this one is not for you. Anyway, thanks to Melvin and the rest of the gang over at Voro Motors. So how does this work, Raymir?
So we have a big spinny wheel thing where we entered all the names, and then Richie, the main man behind the camera, is going to hit the button, and then whoever wins. Good luck. Richie, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
And the runner is Rebecca
Nagler! You are the winner, Rebecca! Woo! I'm gonna start doing that when I go by people.
Ric Flair.
I don't.
Woo!
Do you think people will get it though?
Yes, Ric Flair's the most. He's the top. He's in the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
I mean, he is. Who else is in the Mount Rushmore? Hulk Hogan.
I'll give it to him.
Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair.
And then to me, you got to put The Rock and Stone Cold in there.
I think you got to put Andre the Giant. He was the most popular before Hulk Hogan. He was the guy.
Yeah.
Him and Ric Flair, I guess, right? But I mean, watch a lot of old wrestling documentaries.
Yeah. I mean, he's up there. I'll probably. Then where am I putting Ric Flair at in this first?
Well, Ric Flair's in there too. He's got to be.
I might take him off. I'm a big attitude.
No, man, no. I think you got to put Shawn Michaels for his WrestleMania performances, and maybe I think you got to put Shawn Michaels.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. The 4 horsemen. These are the greatest. I like him, man. Let me just do Ric Flair real fast.
What are you doing, man? Oh, no.
You know how he takes off his belt and his shoes, his Gucci's?
Oh, yeah.
And he does this.
Dude, I watch a lot of those on YouTube. You can get those old interviews with those old guys, and they'll tell you stories about back in the day. Anyway.
Man, I pretty much broke a scooter. I wonder what it was.
That was the Nami, I see. But anyway, yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Let's end this thing.
The Emove Cruiser 2021. Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Check it out. It is the Toyota Camry of electric scooters. It is not a bad, I mean, if there's one thing I can say, it's not a bad choice in electric scooters. And yes, at that price, just like Melvin said, there's kind of like what has the features of that thing. And one of my favorites is that 23.5 inch usable deck.
Nice.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You can go. You can dance on that thing. Yeah. Anyway, look out for our full review that's coming out. It's coming out Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see y'all on Thursday for the premiere of the brand new purple Emove Cruiser. Thank you guys for coming back.
Hit the like button. Hit the like.
Please
share with your friends.
Yeah, share with your friends.
We'll see y'all next time.
We'll see you next time. We got probably next week.
Yep.
I think VSET.
Yep.
What?
Whoa.
What? We should get Kevin on the show. Someone call Alien Rides. Good night, everybody.